What is going on, Amazon sellers? Welcome to another video from the Flips Nation channel. If you're new here, my name is Rob and I do about 25K in sales a month doing primarily online arbitrage with Amazon FBA. Now, I'll get straight into the video. Just do me a favor, if you find help and value from this video, drop me a like and subscription. It helps me out and helps get this information out to other sellers who may need it. Now, this video is going to be all about the buy box, how to win the buy box, how to analyze the buy box. And if you do find this helpful and you want more resources, the free Amazon FBA Flips Nation Discord group is in the link below in the description. Now, enough with this, let's get on to the video. Okay, so first off, what is the buy box? So quick rundown of the buy box. When you go onto a listing, you will see the add to cart button. If that means that the buy box is present. If you don't see the add to cart button, that is indicative that the buy box is not present. Let me jump over to my screen. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm on this random Nike shirt listing, and as you can see here on the right, $24.99, add to cart, buy now. Buy box is present, and it's being ran by this seller right here at this very moment. There's 3 sellers total, but this seller in particular has the buy box for this black small Nike shirt listing. Now let me jump over to another listing that the buy box is not present. So let me just go back. All right. So here's a Lego set. If you can look to the right, you don't see that add to cart buy now selection. You can see all buying options. And if you click here, then you'll see all those sellers on this listing, but a buy box is not present at this moment. The buy box is a way that Amazon rotates between sellers on a respective seller's selling price for a particular listing. For example, let's say there's 5 sellers on a listing. Whoever holds that add to cart button, they have the buy box. So the question remains, how do you win the buy box? And I want to preface this with saying this is all speculation based on my own selling experience. So naturally, Amazon wants the best experience for the customer. So as a result, there's various factors that impact who wins the buy box. Let me enumerate them. First factor is the selling price. Price is, of course, the obvious factor. And Amazon wants the best value for the consumer, and they want them to find at a great value price. This doesn't necessarily mean that the lowest price always gets the buy box, and in fact, significantly higher prices can win the buy box. However, generally speaking, in my own experience, if your price is like 10% lower than the current buy box holder, more than likely you will get the buy box. And again, that 10% isn't concrete, it's just something that I've noticed. Second factor is stock, and it also favors winning the buy box, meaning Amazon will reward you for staying in stock and having large stock. So in theory, even if you have a price that's higher than whatever the buy box currently is at, if you have way more stock and you show Amazon you've had a history of staying in stock, you can win the buy box over another seller who has a lower price than you. Now I'm on this random Nike sock listing, and right now, obviously there is a buy box. This person has the buy box right now. And if you go to all the sellers on this listing, you can see that this person actually, in fact, has the highest price, right? Compared to these other sellers, $28.99, $29 flat, $28.10. This is a higher price, but he has the buy box, meaning there's other factors that come into play than just the price. And that's kind of what I want to show you here. Despite these lower prices, he has the highest price. He has the buy box denoted on the front of the listing, and the fact that he's on the top of this little chart here when you check all the sellers on the listing. The third factor is how you're going to fulfill orders, whether you're fulfilling by FBA or FBM. This is another key factor that plays into the buy box win share. Generally speaking, Amazon favors those that ship units into their warehouse first. This is because they can ensure prime shipping. They have placed the units you've shipped at locations in the US where the demand for that item is higher than other areas, thus to ensure there's a higher chance of receiving that unit as fast as possible. And just for if you're a super beginner, FBM is when you merchants fulfill, FBA is when you send it to Amazon warehouse and they fulfill it on your behalf. To assist winning the buy box share via FBM, meaning merchant fulfill, which is when you fulfill the items yourself rather than sending it to Amazon warehouse, then one way to increase your chances of winning the buy box is to change your handling time from the default 5 to 1 day. And you can do this through inventory and edit, and you can change the handling that way. So this is one key factor that you can do if you're FBMing to increase the chances of you winning the buy box share. Next up is reviews and ratings. And I want to say reviews and ratings impact slightly. However, I think it probably has the least impact with buy box win share relative to the other ones I've mentioned prior. However, it's always in your best interest to execute good customer service actions so you're not in the bad feedback situations. Like I advised prior, if you change your handling time to 1, ship it out that day, that within that 24-hour framework that they give you if you do change that handling time. Like I said, handling time, when you change it 1 day, that just means you're promising to send that item within 24 hours or 1 day. Next up is seller history. It's another small factor that plays into buy box win share. The age of your seller's history account, again, should play a small factor. However, I do think the longer you've been actively selling on Amazon, the better you have trust with Amazon, and it could help you get those buy box win shares over someone who just previously launched. And the final factor is if Amazon is on the listing, meaning if Amazon's selling. If Amazon is selling on the listing, watch out, because more than likely they're going to take the mammoth share of the buy box. And this is why a lot of sellers will tell you if Amazon's on the listing, you may want to steer clear. You can check the buy box statistics, which is what I'll go over here soon on Keepa, to see if Amazon is sharing the buy box to other sellers. But most of the listings that I've been on, if Amazon's on the listing, they're taking most of the sales. So probably not a good idea to get on a listing if Amazon's already on it. And you can tell by going to the Amazon, by going on to who's selling on that listing, you'll see Amazon's always going to be at the top. Okay, so I'm on this random Adidas shoe listing. And if you look here, the buy box is present at $52, shipped from Amazon, sold by Amazon. The buy box is in fact with Amazon, as Amazon is selling this shoe on this listing. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Keepa chart and how it relates to information on the buy box win share. Now, if you do need a full course on Keepa chart and how to read a Keepa chart for other listings, I'll drop the link to that video in the description below, and it should pop up here as well. Highly suggest you learn to read the Keepa charts before buying any product at all, period. Learn Keepa for sure. So now let me jump over to my screen and I'll dive into that. Okay, so I'm back on this Nike sock listing, and if I scroll down to the Keepa chart, we can look at this and analyze it. The purple line here denotes the buy box, and we can see $29.70. Third party FBA, that's people like you and I, have won the buy box, and you see how it goes back and forth from FBM, FBA, FBM, FBA. Now, if we go to the data, buy box statistics, come on, okay. So this seller, King's Corner, has won 11%. This one, 10%, 10%, 8%, 8%. So this is distributed pretty evenly with the buy box. So if I were to be on this listing, I could expect to somewhat get an even share of the buy box. And you can see on the right here, it checks off if they're doing it FBA. So this person and this person are selling it through FBM, which means that maybe if you came in with FBM, you have a good chance of also winning the buy box, since it was apparent that these two sellers are FBMing and they have a pretty good share of the buy box rotation. And if we go, so King's Corner, fast and quick, if we go scroll up here right now they do not have the buy box. All right, guys, that wraps it up. I hope this video was of value to you, all about the buy box. Now, hopefully you're just more prepared and reading a listing as far as after you read the Keepa chart. Now, if you did find this video helpful, again, please do drop me a like and subscribe. Helps me and helps get this information out to other sellers. And I will see you on the next video.